This video is brought to you by Avoto, a professional AI photo editor that allows you to perform routine tasks quickly and then sync your edits to other photos in just seconds. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the tools that every photographer needs to master the craft of hard light. We'll explore how essential accessories like reflectors, grids, barn doors, and gels can dramatically enhance your lighting setups. And speaking of setups, I'm going to walk you through multiple setups using all of these accessories today. So let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. Today's topic is not just about lighting, it's about transforming your photographs from good to absolutely stunning. When most photographers start out, they often gravitate towards soft light. It's forgiving, easy to work with, and great for those just getting their feet wet. You might have started with a basic umbrella or a softbox, but as you grow your skills and you start to develop, you'll start to seek out new challenges. That's when many of us begin to explore the dramatic and sculptural qualities of hard light. We're going to really dig into how to use reflectors, grids, barn doors, and gels to refine your work. These tools will not only enhance your ability to control light, but also expand your storytelling skills. And if you want to learn about the stories that I like to tell, please like, subscribe, and sign up for the bell. Let's kick off things with grid reflectors. If there's one thing I always pack for a shoot, no matter what, it's 2 grid reflectors. A grid reflector works by narrowing the beam of light, typically to about 50 degrees, which gives you the ability to isolate the light on your subjects and add dramatic flair to your images. The interior of these reflectors are almost always coated with a shiny silver finish, amplifying the light output and making your strobes work more efficiently. Most grid reflectors are 18 centimeters or 7 inches, but some, like this one, are 21 centimeters or 8.3 inches. The perfect match for your grid reflectors are grid sets, which are honeycomb discs that narrow the beam of light from your reflector to 40, 30, 20, or 10 degrees. Some sets are a little different, but the point is the same. The Elinchrom grid kit comes with a 30, a 20, and a 12-degree grid. This variability is crucial for controlling how narrow you want your light spread to be, with narrower angles producing even more focused beams. Barn doors often clip on the front of your grid reflectors. They function similarly to grids, but they serve more like 4 miniature flags on your lights that let you customize the spread of your light on 1, 2, 3, or even 4 sides. You can use them to keep light off of your background or to create a gradient of light on your background that can make your subject pop. And when used in combination with grids, barn doors enhance your ability to control light even more. However, barn doors are less effective at shaping light than actual flags, so if you have room on your set or in your kit, you might want to add something like the Impact Portaframe Scrim Kit or the Matthews Road Rags 2 kit, which I have used for the last 20 years. Finally, let's talk about gels. These thin sheets of colored plastic can really transform your images. When placed over a grid reflector, gels cast colored light that can set a mood, simulate different times of day, or set off the color harmony in our shot. Whether you're aiming for a subtle tint or a bold statement, the choice of color, its placement, and its intensity can all align to make your vision a reality. You can use gels in softboxes and reflectors, but we're going to stick to hard light today. Now that we've got the basics out of the way, let's start putting all of these tools to use. For this setup with Colleen, I utilized the Elinchrom standard reflector that's 21 centimeters or 8.3 inches to bathe the set with high contrast light. To further refine the beam, I positioned a flag between the light and the model to cast a shadow on the upper portion of the backdrop. The closer you place the flag to your model, the sharper and more defined the shadow edges become. On the other hand, moving the flag closer to the light source softens the shadow's edges. I would encourage you to try this out in your studio. Just darken the room and turn on the modeling light and start moving the flag forward and back so you can see how that affects the shadows on your set. To recreate this image of Colleen, adjust the height and the distance of your light and the flag until you achieve the desired shadow placement. This hands-on approach will give you a tangible sense of how even small adjustments can dramatically change the composition of your shot. Now that we have all of our gear in the right place, we need to dial in our settings to freeze Colleen's movement. In studio situations, we typically fire flashes at the camera's sync speed. This is the maximum speed at which your camera can synchronize triggering the flash while opening and closing the shutter, or starting to record and stopping to record the image in case you're using an electronic shutter. The brief burst of light from the strobe is typically multiple times brighter than the light in the room, and so the duration of the burst, called the flash duration, that's what stops movement rather than your shutter speed, because the flash duration is normally a lot faster than your sync speed. High-speed sync, or HSS on the other hand, allows you to shoot above your sync speed, but it often results in lower overall brightness, higher ISOs, and reduced depth of field when compared to traditional flash. By reducing the power output of most flashes, you can shorten the flash duration, but consult your manual for details, or if you are in the Elinchrom, Godox, or Flashpoint family, the flash duration is likely displayed on your light's LCD. I found in a previous video that we want our flash to be at least 3 stops brighter than the ambient light in the room, and we need our flash duration to be t.1 1/3000th of a second or shorter to freeze a dancer jumping through the air. I will link to that video so you can learn more about this topic in depth. After I captured this perfectly frozen image of Colleen, I had to, of course, retouch it, and that's where Avoto, today's sponsor, comes in. Avoto is a next-generation AI photo editor that simplifies your workflow and allows you to unleash your creativity. You can apply a preset in just seconds or retouch most images from scratch in only a few minutes. Then you can sync your edits to other photos and save tons of time. Let me show you how fast it works on Colleen's photo. One of the features that I love is their Backgrounds Adjustment tab, where you can clean solid backdrops with the click of a button. This removes most footprints and wrinkles while maintaining the shadows. You can also further refine the image by toggling on color banding removal. And we all know how long this would have taken us to do by hand. You can also retouch the skin and add contouring. Please click on the link in the description to get a special offer from Avoto. Next, let's explore the power of grids through a photo shoot I did with Xander. In this session, I set up my lights about 1.5 meters or roughly 5 feet away from Xander. We started with a basic grid reflector, capturing the initial light spread and its intensity. This was our baseline for this experiment. Then I switched to a 30-degree grid, narrowing the beam significantly. Then I swapped it for a 20-degree grid, tightening the beam even further, and finally I used a 12-degree grid. Now you can see the results side by side. I used a light meter and adjusted the output of the light every time I changed a grid in order to make sure that the brightness of the light falling on his face was the same in each exposure. Not only did the grids effectively narrow the beam spread, they also blocked almost a full stop of light. For Xander's portrait, I opted for a setup with a light positioned over each shoulder, each equipped with a 30-degree grid. Additionally, I used a grid reflector with a 12-degree grid to illuminate his face. This arrangement not only provided high contrast illumination on his face, but also cast a subtle highlight on the background. In this side-by-side comparison, you can see what the shot would have been like with and without grids. These accessories can dramatically alter the mood of your portrait and ensure that light goes exactly where you want it. In our next setup with Isabel, we're going to pair our barn doors with a Cucoloris or cookie to cast patterned shadows that mimic natural light filtering through leaves. To start, I've placed a light with a 21 centimeter grid reflector over each shoulder. I added barn doors in order to restrict the beam of light so that it would only strike the top of her head and the sides of her arms. These lights were crucial for defining the edges of her form and adding depth to the image. If I didn't use the barn doors, the light would have gone everywhere and bounced back into the shadows, killing the mood and reducing the contrast of the shot. Then I chose a 44 centimeter or 17-inch silver beauty dish as my main light, placing it just 44 centimeters away from Isabel's face. This close proximity allowed the beauty dish to produce a concentrated pool of high contrast light on her face, which highlighted her features. The choice of a silver interior over a white dish cranked up the contrast even more. For the background, I wanted to create the illusion of dappled sunlight, and to achieve this, I directed a third light, also outfitted with a 21 centimeter grid reflector and barn doors, towards a homemade Cucoloris. The Cucoloris was designed to break up light similarly to how leaves might scatter sunlight on a bright, sunny day. Adjusting the barn doors allowed me to fine-tune the light so that it illuminated just the Cucoloris and none of the raw light hit the backdrop without going through the Cucoloris first. The same principles that govern the sharpness of the shadows in the first look with Colleen also apply to the shadows cast by a Cucoloris. Barn doors can also be combined with a grid to selectively light a narrow band of the backdrop, as I did here with Sophia. You can take your creativity to the next level with a set of colored gels. Light manufacturers like Elinchrom sell their own set, but you can get them from gel companies and from Amazon. Using gels isn't just about throwing bright colors into your shot, it's about understanding and employing color harmony to enhance the aesthetic quality of your images. A fundamental concept in this realm is using complementary colors. Those are pairs of colors that are opposite of each other on the color wheel. For example, on the RYB color wheel, which you use for physical objects, these pairs include, but are not limited to, red and green, yellow and purple, and orange and blue. On the RGB color wheel, which you use for light, complementary pairs include yellow and blue, red and cyan, and magenta and green. You can take your color harmony to the next level by drawing a triangle or a square on the color wheel to select 3 or 4 harmonious colors. Gels, backgrounds, props, and clothing are all elements of your color harmony. I made a video all about this topic, which I will link to. How you apply your gels to your lights is really important too. If you're using a hard reflector that's around 7 or 8 inches, all you're going to do is take a gel sheet and 2 pieces of tape and tape the gel over the reflector. But if you're using a beauty dish or a softbox, you want to use multiple pieces of tape to apply the gel to the inside of the fixture, and you want to make sure that you cover the flash tube completely. Otherwise, daylight is going to escape around the edges of the gel, and that's going to mix inside of the modifier with your colored light, and that's going to desaturate your overall color. For this setup with Lauren, I arranged 3 lights side by side, each fitted with a red, blue, or green gel from the Elinchrom set. This setup allowed us to see firsthand how overlapping different colored lights can create new hues. Where red and blue crossed, magenta appeared. Red and green made yellow, and blue and green produced cyan. But where the lights didn't overlap, you could see the gel's true color. I also used a strip softbox kicker and a hair light to add depth to the shot. In the area where all 3 gels overlapped, the blue gel was slightly brighter, so the background appears blue overall. In another setup with Tyler, I arranged the lights in RGB order from left to right, resulting in CMY shadows on the background. The equal brightness of each light ensured a balanced, neutral area where all 3 lights overlapped. For Dyren's portrait, I created a literal spectrum across his face by using multiple gels. Beginning from the light on camera right and moving clockwise as seen from the top down in this diagram that I made using set.a.light 3D. You can watch a full video about set.a.light too and get a discount if you click on the link in the description. But let me get back to my story. I used a red gel followed by a green, then a blue, and then a red gel on camera left. I added a yellow gel to illuminate his hair and a purple gel to light the background. As a result, his left side glowed with a warm orange tint transitioning to green light on his face, blue on his right cheek, and then finally violet on the back of his neck. The background was bathed in a deep purple light, perfectly complementing the golden tones in his hair and creating a visually compelling and harmonious image. Hopefully now it's clear how crucial reflectors, grids, barn doors, and gels are when it comes to hard light. Throughout this video, we've explored practical examples that illustrate just how transformative these tools can be. Whether we're capturing the elegance of a dancer's movement or the striking features of a portrait subject bathed in colored light, these tools empower photographers to shape the light in ways that evoke emotion and captivate viewers. Every accessory that you master and every technique that you try brings you one step closer to your goals. So please get out there and experiment, try new things, and learn from the experience. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to take your learning to the next level, try one of my in-person workshops. You can sign up for them at johngress.com/lighting workshops, or check out my members-only learning platform, the Academy with John Gress. Also, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and also let us know how you like to use hard light on your shoots. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.